All right, am I back on? All right, well, just having some technical issues because of my damn internet that's being provided by Comcast. So please keep that in mind when you're looking for high speed, reliable, consistent internet. Hopefully, wherever you're at, you have choices because unfortunately, where I'm at, there ain't no choices. My only choices are Comcast and AT&T, and I would probably have no problems, trying to give AT&T a shot again, but it won't be the fast speeds that Comcast has that basically I need especially if I'm going to be streaming and all that. So this should better hold up. I don't know. I've just been having internet issues since I think maybe Friday. Whenever it was that I beat Devil May Cry um 2 as Dante, that was when I was starting to have internet issues. So, you know what? I'm just going to sit and chill for a few minutes and make sure everything works. That everything is working in the way that it should be. So, I don't know. So far so good. But just in case, I'm going to just let me give it another few minutes. Because as a not necessarily last resort, but as a next resort, I would have to like restart my internet, and that'll be about another 10 minutes or so that I won't be playing, and then that'd be a kind of a turn off to try to get back and play. I'd like to go ahead and finish this game at a decent time. The hope is that so then that way on Tuesday, I can just go ahead and play some Devil May Cry 3. All right, I think it'll be okay. I don't know. Fortunately, normally I have at least something to talk about, and right now I don't. But I should be nearing the end of the game. I really do think like that she has 14 missions. It might be 16, who knows? But especially because this next mission's gonna, or this mission that I'm in is the last of the items, and plus, I think when I was playing as Dante, like this was the last big mission. If I'm not mistaken. Like all the other missions were just boss fights or whatever. there's a part in DMC where you even go inside the main building. On the bad guy's building. At least Lucy is better than Cat. You know, and then that was another thing I really like about DMC is that it didn't really have a very strong female lead. Like, not to say Cat is a bad character or anything like that, but I mean, compared to characters such as, you know, Trish and Lady. I really can't tell if that sword is like stronger or not. There's this, but we have level 1. Oh, these are faster. So I don't know if that necessarily means weaker. Okay, here's the room. The thing. Oh, motherfucker. Alright, I'm gonna have to beat the savage person. You reformed? Oh. heart doesn't do anything. Officially all the collectibles. I do now just and now we're all in Limbo Demon World. Oh, was this the room that I was already in before? Yeah, I was already here before. It was cool that I'm going the wrong way. Oh, that's right, I gotta fight Triple Face Fucker.
You fool! Everyone is destined to die.
No, I never figured out what the I'm supposed to do. Leveling up my deck. And that was all. I heard it's really easy to beat them, you just need double trigger. So just in case I need items, I'm not gonna spend yet.
You defeated.
Okay, so this sounds like a weird complaint.
Marius.
I've never been a big fan of Lucia's butt.
There's just one thing left.
Like her butt looks like a dude's butt. It's like they just took Dante's butt or something.
Kill me. Kill me and everything will be over. I thought I was a descendant of the clan that protects Vida Marly. The ones who have the blood of the devils. But the truth is, I was created by Arius. I could become a monster and attack the humans at any time. Now, kill me. It's your job to hunt devils. What? The ritual was incomplete. But the door to the demon world is... Wait. What are you doing?
My job is hunting devils.
Once you enter the demon world, you may never be able to return. I'll go. I'm expendable. You don't need to worry about me. I'm happy if I can die like a human.
No. Devils never cry.
But...
Let's leave it to fate. Heads, I go. Tails, you go. See you around.
Don't you want to hear the story about Sparda from Mathieu?
I know. He did the same thing. Hold on to my coin, Lucia.
Dante. Arius? It seems I have to finish him off myself.
Okay, so this actually might be her final mission. I don't think there's a mission 14. So I'm just gonna start it, and then if I have to restart and I need to get like items for whatever reason, then I have that option. Let me go ahead and and just like Arius' first one, he just runs around. Oh, close on. Good for him. Good stuff.
Dante told me. Devils never cry.
And that's that. That was actually the final boss.
You must not worry, my dear. I am sure that he will return.
That butt.
Everything is just as it was with Sparta.
Oh my.
What is it, my dear?
Both sides are heads.
Heads, I go. Tails, you go.
It tricked me. That macho.
And now we got an actual end credits. Because we didn't before when we played it as Dante. So it ended up being less missions than I thought. I'm sitting here like thinking that there's like 14 or so missions, and nah, there's only like 13. So you can see she doesn't have a very long campaign. It can be done in just a few hours. And just my oddest complaint as far as Lucia goes is her butt. Like her butt just looks weird. I don't know if like, you know, whoever was like drawing her butt never draw the girl's butt before. Because that butt looks more like a dude's butt. It looks very weird. It looks like a very weird butt. So like I said, I know that's like an odd complaint to have, but it's just one of those things that's been bothering me since I played this game way back when it first came out. So, but that was Devil May Cry 2. It's not a bad game per se, you know, but it's definitely not a great one. That it is for certain. If anything, it's just a passable game. You know, it's not like an inherently bad game. You know, it's just there are some flawed aspects of it. You know, the game itself is way easier compared to all the other Devil May Cries, really, especially going from Devil May Cry 1 to this game. Huh? Okay. So anyways, you can see from like a lot of boss battles, like in order to beat them, they require like very minimum strategy. You know, you have bosses where you saw like you could literally stand there and just like fire away, or you know, just try to build up your double trigger and then go wild with it. Okay, so we're still doing it correct. Okay, so this game was made by Hideo Kojima. So I think that's also part of the reason why, you know, Devil May Cry 2 stumbled a bit, but I'll get to that in a bit. We got a Marvel end credits thing.
My job is hunting devils. Devils never cry. I know. He did the same thing.
But Sparta did come back.
Alright, and that's that. Explain all that in a bit. Lucia's costume change and mission select mode are now available. Bloody Palace is not available. Now enjoy the hard mode. Alright. Alright, so I'll just leave it on this screen. I'm sure this outfit might be cool for her, as opposed to the one that they gave Dante. I don't know, they made some type of marketing promotional thing with this company. I don't even know if this company's still around anymore. I think this is like the only thing I've ever seen them. But alright, so basically at the end of the game, the end credits is Lucia basically keeping the Devil May Cry office warm for Dante, and she's flipping his coin. You know, as waiting to see if he'll return, or expecting that he'll return. You know, the same coin that she realized had the same two sides. You know, it was the same. Both sides were the same. And yeah, just awaiting Dante's return. So then that's when you hear the, because if you remember Dante, he practically rode into hell on a motorcycle, and when he, so at the end there, Lucia hears his motorcycle, and that's when she runs out. I don't know if at that time, if things were supposed to be, you know, if that was supposed to be like some form of a tease, or if it was supposed to be one of those things where we're like, you know, well, what happened to Dante when he went to hell? Like, you know, what went on? You know, there's like kind of some questions. Not that it really matters, because the important thing is that apparently Dante returned. Reason why I say apparently is because up until the release of Devil May Cry 5, the story order of the games were Devil May Cry 3, 1, then 4, then 2. 2 taking place after all the games. I guess so then that way they can just go and completely ignore the events of this game and whatnot. But with the release of Devil May Cry 5, Capcom decided to reestablish the story order, and the story order is actually 3, 1, 2, and then 4 and 5. So 2 actually takes place in the middle of the games. It takes place right after 1. And now apparently it is actually before 4 and then 5. Not quite sure why the change. Not quite sure it matters much, to be honest. At the end of the day, we know Dante returned from hell, and that's that. And especially if it's supposed to take place in the middle, just before 4, well, we know he you know, he comes back, and that's that. So it doesn't matter what he did, you know, what happened in hell. Like, apparently he found his sense of humor while he was in hell. That's the only thing that can be that could be assured. So as far as Devil May Cry 2, the game itself goes, this game, it's not a bad game. It really isn't. And I think people who play uh, who happen to play this game now for the first time after playing through the other Devil May Cries for the first time, hopefully they played Devil May Cry 1 and then played Devil May Cry 2. They probably won't think much of this game or its flaws, its shortcomings, what have you. But for and that's for the people who went and they bought these HD collections for the first time, be it last console cycle, be it this console cycle. I don't think I don't think they'll have, if anything, even if they like the first one better, I don't think they would have the deep negative feelings about it that a lot of other people did back when Devil May Cry 2 originally came out. And I did go over this before and a couple times before with chatters or on my own, but I'll go ahead and I'll say it one more time just to fill in some extra time, because I thought I would, this would be, and this always seems to happen. But I thought I'd be on here a bit longer playing this. If anything, the only reason why it took me as long as it did tonight was because of internet issues. And I'm glad the internet hold up, if anything. Oh, and I guess that's it for the Darkstalkers 3 tournament I was watching. Dude won with Tolbane. Cool. Good to support these things. Anyways, sorry about that. But it's just for the gamers like me who, it's a much different experience, because Devil May Cry 1 came out and it was a game that kind of not necessarily came out of nowhere, but at the time it was a brand new franchise, and it became such a huge hit. It became a favorite game for a lot of people. It was, for me anyways, it was a console seller. Like I held off on getting a PlayStation 2 for a while, and then especially considering when the PS2 first came out, there was a couple cool launch games, but that was basically it. And there wasn't too many games that came out within even like the first year of the game, which is really unfortunate, because over on the other side of things, at that time you had the Dreamcast that's been out for a year, and for a straight year it's been providing like awesome game after game after game. Launch launch and its launch window was amazing, and they still provided all these games for it. And here's PlayStation 2, where people are like literally killing themselves for waiting in line for insane hours, paying double the price for it. There was like a shortage. There was, for those who don't know, when PS2 originally came out, like there was actually a shortage. I think, for example, we were supposed to get a million consoles. Let's say, I don't recall the final number, but let's say we were supposed to get a million consoles, and instead we got like 500,000. So whatever it was, it got cut in half. So people who reserved or pre-ordered didn't uh, may not have been able to get it, or maybe they did through a form of a lottery. But I remember people just waiting in line to all night to try to get that system. And it came out, and really at launch there was only a few good games. that came out. The only one that I could really recall that if had I purchased a PS2 at launch that I would have gone would just been Tekken Tag 2. I mean not I said Tekken Tag 2. Would have been Tekken Tag Tournament and probably Street Fighter EX3. Oh, and probably Dynasty Warriors. That would have been it. I know there's other games that came out like Summoner. I think there was a game called Orphan that came out, but while these are games that might have been cool to get at launch, same thing with Street Fighter EX3. The only games really that were really impressive to see on the PS2 at the time were Tekken Tag and Dynasty Warriors, which I think was called Dynasty Warriors 2. Yeah, because it was a sequel to the first one that came out on PlayStation, was a fucking fighting game. And then they said this one was like the biggest beat 'em up because you're going through like these waves and waves of enemies, which is really impressive. With the PS2 at that time, where before you couldn't have like all these enemies pop up on screen at once for you to whip all their asses, and to do it in a massive map. Not that everything was perfect, but still at that time, like, it was pretty impressive. And other than that, there really wasn't much within that first year. I think the only standout games I could think of that came out within that first year or so ish, I'm kind of fuzzy with the dates, is Devil May Cry and Zone of the Enders. With with Devil May Cry, which I believe came out before Zone of the Enders, or maybe the other way around. I don't know. But anyways, so with Devil May Cry, so with the original Devil May Cry, I had put off getting a PS2, and that was the game that made me go out and buy a PS2. So for me, it was, for all intents and purposes, it was a console seller. It was a reason for me to now go buy a PS2, and this was the first game that I bought for it. Um oh yeah, there were other games that also came out within that first year. Onimusha, I remember. So that was like another really cool game, but it wasn't necessarily a system seller like to me. I think same thing with Zone of the Enders, if that had came out before Devil May Cry 1, I don't recall. Like, but those are still like really really cool games. But I remember when I first played Onimusha, it was after a friend got it, and I played it at his house, and I beat the whole game like while I was there, like damn near. I want to say like in one sitting, but the game only takes like a few hours to beat. That was that. So it wasn't like, it was a really really cool game, but I didn't see a reason to go out and buy a PS2 for it. And maybe with Zone of the Enders, even though Zone of the Enders 1 is a really cool game, it's also a very short game. But I don't know, just uh, Devil May Cry 1 was the game that I had to get when the PS2 came out. And that's not to say like I didn't have other friends or something that also got the game as well. But for me, it was like it was about time to purchase a PS2 and to go and get this game, and I'm really glad that I did. So now you have the release of Devil May Cry 2. Lots of people like me like really really looking forward to the game. It's not going to be like people now where they'll get the HD collection, they'll beat Devil May Cry 1, they'll go straight to Devil May Cry 2, and they probably won't see what the big deal is with all the hate that it got. But for us at the time, it was a lot different. We this was a game that, after experiencing Devil May Cry 1, that we're really looking forward to. and then the game comes out and it's just felt like such a step backwards compared to Devil May Cry 1. Devil May Cry 1, even though the other games didn't follow this formula, but Devil May Cry 1 took place in within like one setting. And even though the other games didn't necessarily do that, Devil May Cry 3, they're, kinda, but not really. At least you're in very like enclosed spaces. You're not like in this game where you have a lot of huge open spaces with enemies that are very like non-aggressive. Aside from maybe like the goats, but other than that, you just have a lot of enemies that aren't very aggressive, and there's not much to them. And the level design in this game is just so poor and bland, just so very bland. um, but yeah, it was just it was different for us. We were actually looking forward to this game, and at that time, Capcom was still was still this great company that just produced awesome game after another. And one thing in significance as well, um one thing that's significant about them is that when it comes to sequels, that's where they have made some of the best games ever. And I ran down some of the lists before. Games like Mega Man 2, Final Fight 2, Breath of Fire 2, Street Fighter 2, Resident Evil 2, and I'm sure that there's other twos that I could be missing, but that list alone shows you just this excellent track record that Capcom has making sequels until Devil May Cry 2 comes out. Devil May Cry 2 comes out and it's not anywhere close to the sequel that Capcom has always made famous. Um, it's so it kind of at that time just made our outlook of the game that much worse. Because this was something that was really looking forward to, and then we go and we play it, and it's just not up to par. Like it just isn't. It's not a totally bad game or anything like that. It's a completely playable, more than playable, more than passable game, but it just leaves a lot to be desired. And part of that issue just seems to be like that was around the time where I think Capcom may have been going through some form of management changes or something. Like there was just um while Capcom has always had some management fuckery associated to it, um this feels like this was the start of it. Like around this time period was when the fuckery began, when Capcom just wasn't the solid company that they once were. And that's not even to say like they haven't made great games over the years. Like they definitely have. But back in in the 80s and the 90s, Capcom, you'd be hard pressed to find a bad game made by Capcom. And now going into the Millennium. Shit, we could run down a list of horrible games that Capcom has made. That's really sad. But part of the issues for this game seems to be just its development. You didn't have at the very least the same like producer for the game. You had, not that there's a problem with Hideaki Itsuno, who ended up, because I believe what happened was is that so Kamiya did Devil May Cry 1. He didn't do Devil May Cry 2, but then he came back for Devil May Cry 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't think I'm mistaken. I feel like I have to look this up now, because now I'm confused. I'm looking up now. He was later director of Devil May Cry, yeah, we know. Started as the earliest incarnation of Resident Evil 4. Oh, never mind. Okay, so after Devil May Cry 1, Kamiya actually didn't have anything to do with Devil May Cry's after that. But anyways, so yeah, it was just a weird situation because for whatever reason, Kamiya, he did Devil May Cry 1, and then they opened another studio for him and I think like others, where he went on to go make Beautiful Joe, and he just wasn't asked to return to make Devil May Cry, to make the other Devil May Cries. I don't know, it just sounds really odd, but that's the type of management that you could expect from Capcom starting from that time period. I don't know why. But yeah, he was just kept off from the project. He was still working on other stuff until eventually, him and a bunch of others left Capcom to form Platinum Studios and make Bayonetta and a bunch of other games. But unfortunately, he just wasn't part of it, and Hideaki Itsuno ended up taking over for the Devil May Cry series, and there's nothing wrong with him at all. He seems to, for the most part, know what he's doing. Um, but he was barely transitioned into Devil May Cry 2. It's you're in charge of a game, series or franchise that someone else started, that someone else would probably have a much better idea of where to go from here and what to do next. And it just didn't survive that transition. So I'm sure it was one of those things where Tsuno likely learned a lot from his experience making Devil May Cry 2. But uh, it's just sounded like one of those things where, like, all of a sudden, hey, you're gonna be director of this game, like, go, or producer, like, go do shit. And you're taking over from someone else's project. and it was just likely a difficult transition for him and whatever team they're in, and not that they did like a bad job, but they could not they couldn't meet people's expectations as far as a sequel to this original major game. And that's definitely part of the reason that Devil May Cry 2 just had issues to begin with. So, all right, I think that's just about it. I think I babbled for like a half hour or so. Not planning on doing anything more Devil May Cry 2. When I originally played the HD collection when it first came out, I actually beat it under multiple difficulties. I upgraded everything, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna beat it under multiple difficulties, but I'll try to upgrade and buy everything. And no, no, it's just you saw from me playing as Lucia, and even as Dante, like you don't really get much in the way of red orbs through fighting enemies, stuff like that. The game doesn't necessarily throw them at you. If you're going to, let's say, orb farm, the only trick that I really know without looking up online to see what other people did is to do the one mission where you fight Arius, because you could finish that mission in less than 2 minutes, even less than a minute, and you can walk away with 5,000 orbs each time. So 5,000 orbs every couple minutes, because you're gonna have to start the next mission, quit out, load up next. So that's an extra minute or two of stuff. But that still isn't bad compared to doing some of these levels that take a bit longer than that, and you'd be lucky if you even get half of that. Oh, hey, what's up, Ivan? What's going on, dude? Sorry that you joined in towards the very the very end of my stream. Yeah, the MC2 does suck, but I had to play it since I'm doing a run through of all the Devil May Cry games. It wouldn't be proper if I didn't if I didn't play it and share its checkered history and past. But otherwise, how's it going, dude? You play Dante Must Die in this game? No, oh, the MC3 no damage. Oh, dude, the fuck. That sounds pretty badass. Because I'm like, oh, if you did in this game, I'm not impressed. But okay, you did in Devil May Cry 3. That sounds really impressive. I hope you got to stream all of that, because that'd be a very impressive video to watch and upload onto the internet. How's it a little sad? So, but fortunately, you don't get to see me play through Devil May Cry 2. I literally like just finished it a bit ago. I've just been sitting here chatting to basically to myself for like the last half hour or something. Basically for anyone, for any sad soul that decides they want to watch this video. Oh, the hell? Is it not like a computer you guys share or something? Like, was this not your computer, basically, or something? And how are you playing the games? Is this through the HD collection? Maybe HD collection from the newer, for the newer consoles. The current, well, I shouldn't say newer, but the current consoles. Oh, okay. So yeah, I feel like she's trying to tell you something by setting a password on the computer. That sucks. But yeah, how are you playing the HD collection? Is it through the current consoles? Oh, okay. That kind of sucks then, because if you're playing on a PlayStation 3, there's no other options for you to stream. At least if you were playing the HD collection through a PS4 or Xbox One, you at least have options. You can at least stream, like, no problem. And because I think with you, I don't recall like seeing much in the way of overlays or things like that. Like, it's just, or camera, like it's just the game and that's it. Like, I don't even think use a mic or anything. So for that, like, for you, it would be perfect. But unfortunately, like, that doesn't, yeah, unfortunately, that just doesn't give you like much in the way of options at the moment. Like, you need a computer. Yeah, like, you need a computer if you're gonna be streaming anything older than a PS4 or Xbox One. So that really does suck. So feel bad for you, man. But hopefully you can, I don't know, one of these days get a PlayStation 4, or get yourself a computer, and hopefully you'll be streaming again. Otherwise, you're gonna have to vicariously live through me. And I'm not anywhere as good as at Devil May Cry anything as good as you, but that's okay. I'm not trying to be either. I'm just playing through the games, just enjoying myself. Not trying to make this into a skill based run or anything like that. Especially because I feel like a lot of people believe that in order for you to, I don't know, enjoy a game or a series, like, you have to be good at it. Like, you have to be kick ass at it. And it's like, no, you don't have to be. If if whatever game or game series is like your favorite, you don't have to be like the greatest at it. Yeah, with like speed runs. Yeah, yeah. It's um with guys like you just you're still huge fans, but you take it to the next level, where you guys play this game like over and over and over again, trying to learn all the little ins and outs, all the little intricacies of the game, and then kind of just go about mastering it from there. And you have a lot of people out there that feel like they can't say that they're into so and so series unless they're at that level. And it's like, no, have to be. You just have to enjoy playing the game, enjoy the story, enjoy the characters. You don't have to go play on like the hardest difficulty until like you know how to like wreck shit completely like you know how to do. So I mean, you're definitely a fan of Devil May Cry, like that's for sure. But I don't want people to think that if they have skill any less than than what you have shown is no good, or they have no right to call themselves a fan. That's really not the case. Because you do have people out there that feel like, what's the point of playing a video game if you're not playing for the challenge of it? But playing for the challenge of game, that's just one of many reasons to go and play, whatever game it is that you're into. No, and that's fine. There's a lot of people that are definitely into playing games um that have harder difficulties, or even if the game initially isn't a hard game, its hardest setting might be like really crazy, and that's where people like to challenge themselves. I mean, look at the Dark Souls games. People are really into those type of games. And there are people like that feel that what's the point of playing a game if it's not going to be, it's not difficult. But like I said, it's like, for you guys, you look for things that are difficult, that are challenging, 'cause you want to be challenged as a gamer. But you have other people that just want maybe they want to be challenged differently, just through an RPG or something like that. Or you just have people that just want to have a good old time, just playing a game, experiencing the story, the characters, and that's kind of where I fall in line. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna be ending the stream like basically within the next few minutes. You kind of came in like at the pretty much the very end of it, because I had beaten Devil May Cry 2. I did it as Dante, then I did it as Lucia, and then I think when you came in, I was like explaining that um I wasn't gonna bother trying to play this game in multiple difficulties, even though I did originally when the HD collection came out. Like, I beat it, all the difficulties and whatnot, and at the very least, upgrade all the abilities, get all the blue orbs and purple stuff like that. But I'm not gonna bother with this. Getting orbs in this game is kind of annoying, and there's a more quicker way, from what I noticed, to get the orbs, which is beat this one level, which is just a boss fight, and that is it. And you can beat the level in less than a minute, and you get, I think, 5,000 orbs each time, which isn't bad. But you still gotta go, quit out, go to the next mission, quit out of it, load that mission back, and then rinse and repeat. And I can tell you from personal experience, it takes a good while to be able to grind the amount of orbs that you need. So I'm just decided I'm not going to be doing that. It's just a waste of time. It would be for nothing, except for maybe some trophies and my personal satisfaction, maybe. But it's just not worth it. The amount of time that I would have to waste to do that, it wouldn't be worth it. So yes, so I'm gonna be playing Devil May Cry 3. Obviously, yeah, no, not now. But next time I come on, which will hopefully be Tuesday, maybe even tomorrow, but I don't want to make any promises, because normally Mondays and Wednesdays aren't the greatest of days for me. But at the very least, I should be on Tuesday. But regardless, the next time I sign on, it will be to play Devil May Cry 3. So, and like I said, it won't be like a skill run or anything like that. Like, I'm going to play it on whatever easiest difficulty I have access to, and then I'm just going play through this excellent game. This game that's pretty much one of my favorite games ever. And with that one, I might play it through a few times just for no other reason, to upgrade everything, but at least it'll actually be fun to do it. Because with Devil May Cry 2, like, it's just not that fun to play through levels over and over. But Devil May Cry 3, as we know, that's not the case. It's a very fun game to play through repeatedly, so I will, at the very least, I'll likely be doing that. And then also play the game through as Virgil or something. But yeah, dude, I appreciate you coming on, chatting with me for a little bit. I'm sorry, maybe that you came on towards the end, but at least you didn't have to stomach through watching me play Devil May Cry 2 or anything. But yeah, dude. Hopefully I'll see you next time I'm on, because it will be to play Devil May Cry 3. So, all right, man. You have a good night. Same thing to everyone else. Cause like I said, next time I come on, it'll be to start Devil May Cry 3, which is one of my favorite games ever. And I'll go into that next time I pop on. So, all right. Have a good night.